They told him he had 5 good years left. That was 15 years ago. He's still standing, still speaking, still living. This is Living with Parkinsons, the good, the bad, and the reality. A podcast about what happens when life throws you something incurable, and you fight back anyway. Hosted by Bryce. Diagnosed at 40, 15 years into the battle. This is the truth behind the tremor. Let's begin.
I've been living with Parkinson's for about 15 years now, and I thought I'd seen it all. I mean, the tremors, the meds, and yeah, I expected those, but no one, and I mean nobody, told me about these side effects. Some of them are weird, some are frustrating, and honestly, a few of them are just straight up humiliating. So today we're pulling back the curtain and we're going to talk about the stuff they don't mention in the brochure. Hey, welcome back. And if you've been here before, you know, I'm always glad to see you. And if this is your first time, my name is Bryce, and this is Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. And this channel is all about keeping it real life, real stories, real support. So whether you're living with Parkinson's or loving somebody who is, you're not alone. And if that sounds like something that you need in your life, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and come along for the ride. Okay, today's episode is one that I've been meaning to do for a while, and it's called The Parkinson's Side Effects that nobody, and I mean nobody warned you about. And I want to get right into it. So let's start off with the stuff that totally blindsided me. Okay, like these are not on the radar when I got diagnosed. They weren't even close to the radar when I got diagnosed. One of them is impulse control issues. Okay, confession time. At one point, I had 14 orders in a row with Amazon, I think in a day. And I didn't even need most of it unless you count the glow-in-the-dark slippers and the pancake batter dispenser as essential. But it turns out some Parkinson's medication, especially dopamine agonists, I never said it properly, but anyway, can mess with your impulse control. For some people, it's gambling. For others, it's sex. And for me, it was late night shopping with zero budget awareness. And it's kind of funny until it's not. And so, you know, one of the things, and I've mentioned this before in previous podcasts, that Primaril is a big one of these drugs. And we were talking about this in the other podcast that I do with my buddy Brian, Life in Motion, Sundays at noon Eastern time live. And we were talking about that, and he was talking about, you know, this, he gets different. And Primaril came up, and it's one of the things that you know, we always have to monitor. And if you're on it, and you'll notice it, and you should, your doctor, your prescribing doctor, neurologist, your movement disorder specialist, whichever you use, you know, one of those first questions when you come in is, you know, how's your sex life, right? How's your gambling? You know, any crazy thoughts, any impulsive thoughts? My big joke always was like, so we're talking about like gambling, sex, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? I don't need Primaril for that. I mean, I'm as impulsive as they get, but I say that jokingly, but jokingly, but seriously, I say that jokingly, really, I do. But it's something that I have to monitor. You know, I am an impulsive person. I can do impulsive things. So the part about, like, you know, shopping on Amazon and shopping, that's not one of the things I'm impulsive about. And I kind of started this with, I was going to say that and leave it there. But the reality is, I mean, I could be impulsive sexually, for sure I can. I can be impulsive, you know, gambling, you know, if I was in the mood to gamble, you know, that type of thing. And I don't often gamble, and I don't often, you know, hit the Vegas Strip. But when I do, I mean, I could go for it, right? So there's things that you have to monitor. So if you are on any of these things, or you're feeling like you have these impulsive disorders, make sure you talk to them, talk to your doctor about them. And if you have somebody that is a trusted, you know, care partner or friend or something, you know, be accountable to them. Let them know that you may be struggling with this. And the bottom line is, if there's an impulsive issue that is causing you distress, then definitely talk to your doctor about that. And you can either cut that drug that's causing it out, or maybe limit it or lower it. And so for me personally, my impulsivity did not change. You know, I was always right here anyway, but it didn't change. And so it didn't get any higher, didn't get any lower. And I kept going. And, you know, through the years, I've been taking Primaril now for, about 14 years. So, and then, I guess it was about 6 months ago, or a year ago, maybe a year ago or 6 months ago. One of my previous neurology appointments, last ones, we've actually doubled the dose. So I went up in dosage, and I'd taken with my first 3 dosages of levodopa. So anyway, that's something that but again, I didn't know. I mean, he told me after the fact. But the truth is, that's one thing that you'd never think about, right? I mean, I'm just trying to get some damn medicine or some type of thing that's going to, again, no cure disease, lucky us, but yet just something to help temper temper the symptoms and help us, and now we got to worry about that. So definitely something that nobody told me, and again, I hope you're not dealing with that. And if you have done that with the pramipixole, or there goes my drugs are going off, but pramipixole or any other thing like that, make sure, put in the comments. I'd really like to know, have you experienced this? Was it was it from the a side effect from the pramipixole or another drug? And let's share. Let me, there's a community. I mean, if in the comments, I read all the comments, I reply to all the comments, but let's start a conversation, because I think this is really important for a lot of people to know. Okay. All right. Second one is the vivid dreams and the nightmares. Who can relate to this one? This one's wild, right? I've flown over cities. I've had full-blown conversations with people who passed away years ago. And I once woke up trying to catch an imaginary cat under the bed. These dreams are so vivid. They're so vivid. They feel like an alternate reality. My wife Carmen once said, that you were fighting in your sleep again last night. And I just said, well, you know what? At least I won. But my dreams are crazy. And this is something, again, I never thought of. They're so vivid, so real. I've talked about them on previous podcasts, but literally in the morning, my wife doesn't know if I'm asleep or awake. And it's just based on the conversation. I've looked at her in the eyes, and she said, how are you doing? And I've said, shh, be quiet, be quiet. And she's like, why do we have to be quiet? And I'm like, well, because they'll hear us. And if they hear us, that nurse is coming back in, and she's going to try to give me more drugs. More pills. I call it drugs. I hope that's not a bad offensive word, but she's going to try to give me more pills. She's trying to overdose me because she doesn't want this Parkinson's and blah, 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 blah. And she'll look at me and she's like, are you awake or asleep? And I'm like literally sitting up, having a sip of coffee, looking at her, but I haven't come out of that dream, and it was so real. So, how about you in the comments? Have you dealt with that one? Right. And if you did, and you can relate, hit that like button. That would be awesome. Okay. How about this one? Sudden sleep attacks. Now, this one's scary, right? You'll be mid-conversation or fully awake, or mid-conversation, fully awake, and then out like a light. It's not just feeling drowsy. It's literally your brain hitting a switch and saying, nope, we're done. And everything just shuts off. And when it happens, like the scary part for me is like, what if this happens if I'm behind the wheel or I'm cooking, or, that's a whole nother level of danger. And again, that is not something anybody told me would happen. Not at all. I mean, I have trouble sleeping, right? I can have insomnia. I can go nights. I can go like 3-4 days in a row without sleeping. And those are the days I wish I'd fall asleep. I wish I'd just, halfway through the day, just bang them out. But there's just complete random, crazy, wild days where all of a sudden I'm done. Everything shuts off. It's like someone turned the batteries off. Someone shut the light off, and I'm just. So anyway, for me so far, anyway, I have not fallen asleep doing something that I, could have been dangerous. But I mean, it could happen. And does that happen to you? Also, does that happen to you? Let me know in the comments. And has it ever caused you danger? Has there been danger? And it's wild, but I'd love to be part of the conversation. So here's the other thing, the other side effects that no one told me about, right? Was the daily life disruptors. Now, these ones they're not dramatic, right? They don't make the headlines, but they chip away at you day by day, bit by bit. And what are some of them? Okay, well, here's one. How about the nausea games, right? Taking meds shouldn't feel like solving a Rubik's Cube. Like, too early, I'm nauseous. Too close to food, nauseous. Too late, now I'm stiff and nauseous. It's like playing Tetris with your stomach. Honestly, if you took me a full year, it took me a full year to figure out my med timing, right? And even now, it's still a moving target. So wherever you're at in the journey, if you're newly diagnosed, be patient with yourself, your doctor, and as you're trying to get this perfect dose of timing and dosage with your meds. Mine took me about a year. I'm glad it took me about a year, because it's been a great kind of template for me, 15 years in now, and I'm doing fairly well, right? But it's like, if I my my third dose is usually around noon, right? So that's 3 levodopas and a pramipixole, and that's beyond that. I'm not even counting the high blood pressure and all those medications as well. But that third pill. So if I take my pills, the levodopa around like noonish, between noon and 2, and I haven't had something to eat, even a cracker or some sugar or like you know what I love? I love M&M's peanuts. I love those things. How about a like for that? Do you like those M&M peanuts? Let me know in the comments, because maybe it's just me, but man, I could eat M&M peanuts all day long. Don't like the chocolate ones. I don't really, almond ones are okay, but the yellow package M&M peanuts. And this is not sponsored by M&M peanuts, but if there's some representative for M&M peanuts watching, I would I would, like, you just send me M&M peanuts and I'll mention it in every broadcast. But anyway, I'm just teasing. But if I need a little bit of sugar, or I need some crackers, or I need something in my tummy, if I haven't had lunch, that one just like whacks me out. Like, I get nauseous, I get dizzy, I get, room spinning. And so anyway, again, these crazy side effects. Now, here's the big one, right? The dyskinesia. And I'm going to do an entire episode just on dyskinesia, because it's such a big topic. Everybody's asked me why I don't have dyskinesia, but I do. I'll show you a little bit more about it, talk about it, what it is, where it comes from, and how you can manage it. But the dyskinesia, that one messes with your confidence, right? You're finally up and moving, and now your body is moving too much, right? I've had people ask me if I'm okay, if I'm nervous, if I'm cold, if I've had too much coffee, and I'm just like, nope, just my brain firing off like fireworks for no reason. And sometimes I try to laugh it off, but some days it just makes me want to hide. So that dyskinesia, that's what that dyskinesia does with me. And that's why I'm so anal on medication timing and dosages, and being right on the nose, because every minute, even a minute here or there, or 5 minutes here or there, can really mess me up. And if I miss it, you're going to see me again. I say it like this. You're probably sitting there going right now, oh, it looks great. It looks great. Well, thank you. But it's not about, for me. Okay. Is it vain? Yes, absolutely. But when people see me, right, see me doing, a video, or being on stage, or at a live event, you have to remember I'm at my best, right? I have timed my meds. I have timed everything around that moment to be as still, as cognitively zoned in as I possibly can. And my joke, if you see me 3 hours from now, or you saw me 3 hours before this, you wouldn't say the same thing. If you were my wife, you wouldn't say the same thing. So there's like a me here. This is me now, like this. And then there's a whole different me. And so, but I just work really, really hard. I work diligently hard at maintaining, the best I can be in public, and really all day, to be honest. It's not like I want to be doing this when I'm not on camera. So I just work hard at it. So anyway, how about this one? And again, don't let me digress here a little bit. If dyskinesia, if I'm gonna, I just have this feeling that it's something that people want to know about. And so, in the comments, let me know. Just please let me know. Just like dyskinesia, yes or no, big deal. Because I think I'm going to make a video on it here, do a podcast on it. I just want to make sure I don't want to waste my time or yours. I want to give you what you want, but it's on my mind. So here is and by the way, if you're liking this, I'd love it if you'd like this video or share it with somebody who needs to hear it. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I mean, come on the journey with us. You'll get notifications of when I'm on and going live. And that's the one thing for me. And I appreciate and I love all of my inner circle members and my subscribers. But I'm as honest and real as it can be. And I'm terrible at timing. Like there's like your podcast come out on Wednesdays and Thursdays at 6 a.m. And you know what? You know what I said to that? I have Parkinson's, man. I can't, I have to plan these around my Parkinson's, not the other way around. And so I do my very best to give you as much notice when a new video is coming out. And I try my best to be on schedule and keep a schedule. But my best suggestion, if you want to follow me and if you're part of this community, is when you subscribe, if you're on YouTube, hit the bell, the notification bell, and that way you'll be notified when a new video comes out. Or you know what? Join the inner circle. There's links in the description below, and I'm going to put my schedules in there and that's where I have my schedule, so you'll know when things are coming out. You'll be the first to know. Okay. Moving on. Anyway, mood swings. How about mood swings? That one is hard to explain unless you've lived it. Like one minute I'm totally fine, and the next I'm like crying because I saw a dog in a baby stroller. It's like my emotions get hacked by a toddler with the sugar high, and it's not just me. It's like this. It's super common, but rarely talked about. I mean, I can go up and down like crazy. I can go as happy as I can be to like cranky and road ragey, or I can go from like that kind of just in a weird down mood and then just laugh my butt off at something that really isn't that funny. And these mood swings are wild. And again, let's talk about it. Do you have mood swings? Do you deal with that? That's a wild side effect. Now, some side effects that I don't know if you'd consider these side effects normally a normal person, but I'm not normal. But I call them like the social side effects. Okay. And these ones are like where it gets really personal because these aren't just physical side effects. They impact your relationships. Like for example, I love my wife, but some days I shut down, not because I don't want to talk, but because I don't know how to talk about what I'm feeling. And that creates distance even when you're sitting right next to somebody. Or how about the "you look fine" problem? Like this one makes me want to scream. You know that. You've heard this. You've heard it. You don't look sick. You don't look fine. Are you sure? Are you sure you have Parkinson's? Maybe you should get a second or third diagnosis, not diagnosis, a third, whatever we call them, opinion. Cool. I'll just go stiffen up in the corner while you process that. Right? I get it. People mean well, but when your struggles are invisible, it can feel like no one sees the real battle. It's like taken for granted. It's like you look fine, like move on, you look good, or hey, you did this yesterday. Why can't you do it today? And it's like it's those days I wish. I mean, I don't wish this, but I feel like I wish it wasn't so invisible because I'm tired of trying to explain it all the time. Those days. Anyway, there's also this side effect that I hate: changes in communication. I used to be expressive. I used to talk with my hands, animated, and I still do. But now my voice is quieter and my face is more still. People ask if I'm upset, and I'm not, and I'm trying to hold it all together. And that makes social stuff really exhausting. And we don't talk enough about those things. And again, if you're a regular listener or viewer of the podcast, this face is driving me bananas. I don't want to have this face. I want to be, Happy Joe without pushing it, really, without having to fake force, if that makes sense. So those are social, what I call social side effects that just absolutely suck, right? Okay, but I'm not leaving you there. What actually helps? So what do you do? How do you manage all these side effects without losing your mind? Well, here's what works for me. Okay. I got all these different tricks, and you've heard them before. I've got that pill cap timer that reminds me exactly when to take my next dose of medication, right? I've learned to schedule my meds around meals, and yes, I've skipped bacon just to keep my meds working, and that's real love. Or other days when I really wanted the bacon, I double up, or I doubled up my dose, or I would take an extra half a pill, or I take my pills earlier afterwards. I find what works for me. I journal, right? So how do I know all these things? I journal. I track my symptoms, and when I notice a pattern, I bring it up with my doctor. Okay? That's what I'm trying to talk about. When you go to your doctor, don't waste your time. If one day this thing happened to you, one day, in the 6 months that you haven't seen him or her, who cares? Look for trends. Look for things that are happening a lot. Man, I'm really not sleeping. So I track my meds. When did I take my meds? What did I eat? How much exercise, or did I have physical exercise? Did I get out and walk? Have I done something? What have I done differently? And I journal all that so that I can see a trend. And then I'm like, when I do this, this happens. And that's what I talk to my doctor about. And we become, and he knows, my doctor knows I'm on it, right? So he listens, hears me, and we have a solution or something to try, and we try right away. So don't waste your time in these doctors. You only get a couple of appointments a year. Don't waste them on trivial things or like, what about this or what about that? Where you can find, listen, if you can search them out yourself or figure them out. Go for the stuff that you only got this moment in time with them, and you really want to talk about these trends. You really want to get your meds down pat. You really want to, talk about the dyskinesia and what's the best way to hold it off and the best cocktail and, that kind of stuff. That's what you want to talk about. Okay. And that was my next point is talk to your doctor. Don't downplay it and don't wait until it's bad. Tell them everything. Okay. Even if it's weird or embarrassing stuff, sexual problems, gambling problems. If look, that's what they're there for, right? And you deserve to be heard. And most importantly, lean into community. I can't stress this enough. You have to lean into community. Whether that's a support group, it might be this YouTube channel, right? It might even be the inner circle, that private community that I have, right? That where we can really talk and get dirty, get down and dirty, peel away this onion, peel away this. And that's why I like the private community, because, and I think I'm so thankful for you that comment and make comments about what you're going through and how you're feeling, because it's so brave, right? You're in a public forum and it's brave. Well, I've set up the private forum for you to do that as well, but it's private to the group, private to people that can relate and know what you're going through. So, if you want to go deeper and further, and I'm in there, and you can ask me questions all day long as well. But that's the inner circle, and it's just there's a link in the description, and there's no pressure. There's no pressure, and it's just I believe in it. I believe in community. I believe in fostering community, and I believe in being in community. So it's sort of like, I believe in community so much. I want y'all to join so you can all be my friends and we can all hang out together. And, we do those live calls every month. So, but whatever it is, man, whatever it is, find your people, because you don't have to do this alone. You really don't. Okay. So now it's your turn. What's the one side effect you wish someone had warned you about? Drop in the comments and let's make it a conversation, not just a video or a podcast, a conversation. And if this helped you or made you laugh or maybe even made you feel seen, give it a like, please. Share it with someone who needs it and subscribe so we can keep having these real, unfiltered chats. And hey, I've said it, I'll say it one more time. If you want to go deeper, come on into my private community and come hang out with me and the inner circle. Okay, links in the description. And above all else, thank you for watching. Thanks for being part of the community. And remember, this journey isn't easy, but we don't have to walk it alone. I'll see you next time. And until then, you keep doing life and keep doing it today.
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinsons, the good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.